We're going live.
Okay, well,
This is it. So
we'll
somehow,
talk.
welcome
What is
everybody to the
this?
Website 101 podcast. Mike has done a thing on Riverside. We
Yeah.
don't know how to stop the video.
This is not. Oh, there we go. We just promoted Riverside.
There you go. Yay,
Oh,
Riverside.
good. It's done.
Were you
Okay.
like presenting that?
I'm trying to find the intro music, and now, well, I cannot do that. I'm gonna just keep looking, and maybe the intro music will
Just
start
eventually the
suddenly.
intro music will come up.
Yeah.
I thought I saw it down at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, and I pressed the wrong button, and now it's gone away and showed me nothing but that video, and I don't know how to.
It was a pretty video.
Well, it was nice, wasn't it?
Have we ever told our listeners, have we ever given you credit, Mike, for making that intro song?
Sean gave me credit way back when I first introduced it into the show.
Well,
yeah, I did that song, but not that I did not do that video you just saw.
No, not the video, but our actual Website 101 podcast.
Mella.
That's right.
Yeah.
Recorded, produced.
That's right.
All of the.
Where's all the stuff gone? It's gone. Anyway, how are you guys doing?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When's summer going?
Sorry, Sean, what?
Yeah, he's cutting out like crazy, but not as hot as it normally is, maybe he said. I don't know.
Maybe.
I can't.
You know what's going to be really funny is if in the recording he's not jittery.
Everything's fine.
And we're just going, what? What are you saying?
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah.
It's the ultimate prank.
Yeah.
Sean, maybe try leaving and coming back. That's all I can suggest.
Yeah.
That's my technical know-how. Try turning it off and on again.
Right. Sometimes it works. Power cycle.
Sometimes, yeah.
Power cycling.
Yep.
I don't know where this meeting went. Oh, I see it now. It's back.
Okay. And Sean's back.
And how's my audio?
Yay!
Yay! We got the audio too.
Yeah.
And then this is where the episode starts. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Website 101 podcast. My name is Amanda Lutz. I am one of your co-hosts. With me from the East Coast today is Mike Mella. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hi, guys. I'm doing great. Good to see you again. Yeah.
Fantastic. We've missed you so very much. And Sean from right here in the 416 is joining me. Sean, what's up?
What's up is I'm happy to be here, and I'm really enjoying this summer. It's not as hot as
it's hot as balls down here. I'll tell you that much. Not today, but it has been.
It's crazy though, because it's like so for future archivists who end up coming across this, aren't we like currently breaking like Earth record highs in Arizona in the Death Valley right now at like 56 degrees Celsius? And here's Sean bragging about how the summer is not nearly as hot as it usually is.
What's is we had global temperature records 5 days, and here we are feeling cooler than normal. This is what we call climate change, not global warming.
Well, yeah, it's been really, really muggy and hot and uncomfortable down here for a while, but it's worse in some places. Europe, I hear, is crazy right now. Like people are dying and stuff.
Yeah, I think I heard that like southern
I heard Greece was pretty bad.
Portugal and southern Spain are going through like a drought so bad right now that they're having to like ship in truckloads of water.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, it's scary.
We had a day the other day that was so windy. It was like just really, really windy. And we were out on the deck just talking, my wife and I, and all of a sudden the wind, we have one of those, like a patio glass table, with a glass surface, those metal, and it has a parasol, a great big parasol umbrella thing on it. The wind picked the parasol up, took it out of the table, and threw it up onto the roof of
Oh,
the car.
wow.
And we were just like,
That-
oh my God. And I don't know how I'm going to get that down because I don't have a ladder here.
Yeah.
But half an hour later, it just blew back
It
down.
blew
So,
off. Yeah. Do you have it
That
weighted?
happened
Do
to
you have the umbrella
that
weighted?
happened to me a few years ago.
the weight, it has one of those things on the bottom that the base that it fills
Yeah,
with
yeah.
water or whatever, but it doesn't seem to connect to it. It just goes into that hole. So it just pulled right back out. So I don't know. It's a bit of a flaw in the design, I think.
I had that happen to me a few years ago. I was sitting there and I umbrella dance in the air for about 5 or 10 seconds before it landed in my neighbor's yard. And I was so grateful that it didn't damage anything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I would have had to pay for that,
Yeah.
for my insurance or
Because-
whatever.
Oh boy, nature.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like contrary to the name of the episode, we've all become like weather experts, meteorologists.
That's right.
Let's get back onto the website. Anybody have a topic for today?
I have something I was going to bring up.
Go ahead.
Sean, did you? Oh, you want me to just go into it? Just
Yeah,
quickly,
go
I
on.
wanted to ask. So we all use Craft frequently as our CMS, as a lot of our listeners would know. And it occurred to me the other day that I don't use singles in Craft at all, ever. I don't see any benefit, and I see drawbacks for them, which I can get into if you want. But do you guys use singles, or do you just use channels and structures on your
I'm going to
website?
let Amanda go first, and then I'm going to answer.
I have used singles before. There was a time, even up till recently, where it's like the homepage would be styled very differently, would have more content blocks on it. And then all of the other pages would be like, a couple content blocks, but like all of the other pages, the about page, the contact page, the whatever other pages, they at least would have a similar design layout if it wasn't exactly the same. So I would use a single for the homepage because it also made it like easier to find. It's just in that one location. It's right there. You can like fill out all of the different areas, all the, fancy call to action fields, whatever. And then I would have like a channel for default pages that would be like the about page, the contact page, etc., whatever. And then all of the other special, sections for the blog posts or news items or whatever else it was. I do find now that somebody has decided that all of the pages should have its own special design. And since I copied Mike and Sean's content builder,
Yep.
so for those in the craft know, making a matrix field where each element in the matrix field, maybe you've got like just content, or maybe you have content and an image, or maybe you've got a carousel. And so then the end user can like just drag and fill in whatever they want. And that can be done for like all of the pages. So now I find that I'm sort of leaning more that way. I don't think I use singles as much anymore.
Yeah. Sean, how about you?
All right. Well, in the past, I liked singles a lot. And I really resisted the structure tree for a long time. But a few years ago, I switched over to that. And I now almost don't use singles at all. But I'm opening up my boilerplate, and I'm just going to, as soon as it finishes loading, I want to share the screen because I do use it for two things. It's content that is like kind of across the site and needs somewhere to manage. And since in Craft 4 or we're on Craft 4 now. When Craft 5 comes out, globals are disappearing and they're going to be converted into singles. So I stopped using globals as well, and I moved them into singles. So
gonna
It
be
makes me so
singles.
sad. I just got into using globals.
but you
Yeah, I
you can
wonder how that-
you can continue to use them. You just have to move them into the singles section. And with regards to having unique designs in your pages, I just set up an entry type for each of them. One thing that I really wish that Craft would allow you to do is when you have an entry type, you could say this can only be available for one entry. So like a listing page, you only want one of those to exist on the site, or you could maybe have two or whatever. But right now, when you create a new entry, in that pages channel, your client gets to see all of the entry types that are available, even if they shouldn't be using older ones.
Yeah.
So
You
what
see,
I do is I put them at the bottom.
I actually am okay with being able to have, even if the goal of that section is to only have one entry, I'm okay with there being multiple, so long as, you know, the client knows and remembers that you're only going to use the most recent one. Because what if they have like a complete content change, but they like the idea of holding on to like the previous content that they had, instead of like having to worry about like, I know that Craft does like revisions and different versions and stuff like that. I like to keep them separate. I like to be able to see,
Yeah.
oh, you know, last year this was the content we had, and the year before that this was the header image that we used, and so you can hold on to it. You
Right.
can still go back and look at it, but you know that displaying on the front homepage, displaying on the website, is just the most recent entry.
So is it possible to share a screen? Does it show up on the
It does.
live stream? Okay.
It does.
I think so.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And
Know that when you share it on the YouTube, it just looks, it's a quarter of the window. Unless like, yeah, so it's not going to go full screen. It's going to be hard to see.
Yeah, crank it right up.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, I wish I had resized. Okay, anyways. So to go back to what I talked here, like the home, if you go into your home page, it's got a special URL slug when you're using the structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, load. Oh, why is my local install so freaking slow?
And actually, I was wrong. I'm looking at the YouTube studio, and all of our faces have gone very small down the side, and your screen share is taking up maybe like 3/4 of the width and the entire height.
Okay, so it's reasonable then.
It's reasonable, yeah.
And if you maximize the window anyway, it should be okay.
Dear viewers at home, maximize the video right now.
Right.
Oh my God. Or I can just give up because my local install is ridiculously slow. Never mind. I'm going to give up.
Okay. So, but how about this? Sean, send me the GitHub. Even though I have it starred and favorited, send me the link to your starter, and I'll put it in the YouTube description.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. So in any case, what I do is I have the pages. It's for the structure of the site, and then I'll have additional channels for like blog or staff or whatever that get pulled in. Mm-hmm. And in the singles section, I have two things, which now I'm trying to open them up. Oh, here it is. I have a notice bar entry, and that's one of those things where at the top of the page where you can put like a alert message or something. It was really something I built for every single client at the beginning of COVID. Oh, we have our little COVID message, so it's big. Now it's baked into my boilerplate. And because it's kind of a global thing, it doesn't really belong on the homepage entry. I put it in singles. The other one
but it is a global, basically. That's effectively a global, right?
404 page content.
Oh, see, I have that just as a default page. But then
I can't remember what I do with my
but then I wouldn't have it. So now I would have like the structure, and I still have like the default page entry, like section, so that would be any pages that you don't want to be part of the main navigation. So the 404, the terms and conditions, the privacy.
That's pages. Interesting, because what I do have, sometimes I'll have like a separate structure, but if the client doesn't want something to appear in the main nav, I have a toggle switch inside the pages channel. So hide from nav. And if they turn that on, it doesn't show up in the navigation.
But then it's still in the structures section?
Yeah.
I don't like
that. See, it's so cool because we all have different approaches to achieve the same end goal.
Yes.
That's how flexible Craft is.
Like using the same tool. Yeah.
Well,
that's how flexible Craft is.
I frequently hear people say singles, a use case would be like links in your footer, like your privacy policy or something like that, right? And I have two different clients where I was able to make that more efficient by not having a single, because if I had a privacy policy as a single, they can adjust the privacy policy entry, of course. But in both of these cases, they came back and they said, we actually have other policies. We need to add a terms and conditions, an accessibility policy, whatever, and a few different ones there. And because I didn't make it a single, I made it a channel called footer links, and it was one entry called privacy policy. I was able to say, just add another entry in there, put whatever you want in there, and it'll show up next to the other thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I have.
Did you make it a channel or a structure?
I think it was a channel, or no, it was a structure, so they can arrange the order of them.
You want to let them rearrange the order of them. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so if they were specifically links in the footer, I would do that. But typically I have like that sort of like default page channel. That could be for, basically whenever you have the URL / the slug.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that way it's like maybe at Christmas they want to have a Christmas sale and they just want to like be able to have socials linked to that and just have like one message. Then it's like they can still just very easily create that entry. The URL is already set up. It's very simple. Use it for as long as you want to use it, and then you can just like
that works great. Pages. I was just going to say that it works like a marketing landing page. You could add a different entry type and whatever as needed.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And the other thing is, singles, first of all, a client can't create a single unless they know what they're doing with adding field groups and template code and
they would need to do it locally. No, they can't even do that on the production site.
Dear client, please do not create any new fields or any new entries, any new channels. Love, Amanda.
I set up my clients I give them a super admin account, of course, because it's their site, but then I say, never use that unless, you fire me or whatever. But I give them another account that has limited access and they can't even get to the settings section in that. So they wouldn't be able to create one.
Actually, you can go even further they can't, I also give super admin access to client, but they can't access the settings on the production site because of a .env variable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just mean like you'd go into the settings if you're going to create a new single, right? And I'm saying they wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, you can't do that even as a super. You can't do that even as a super admin.
How's that
production?
Work?
On production.
Yeah, on production. You can only do it locally.
I would never limit a client to that degrry. Do you guys do that?
Because
if you get hit by a bus, they can't.
So let me. Oh, go ahead, Amanda.
I was just gonna say if I've got like my local, but then if I have staging. And then production, then yes, absolutely on production, I'll be like, you can't do updates. You can't add anything structure wise on production because we do have that staging and it is very important to like keep everything in sync, like Sean was just saying. And then I am doing everything. I'm working locally. I push to staging. They like it. I push to production. Everything is good. If I do get hit by a bus, somebody else can come in and take over.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times it's like, if it is like just a smaller client where it is just me locally, and then it's like their live site, I'll keep it available on their live site and then just like drill into them constantly all the time. Don't touch it. Don't go there. Don't even look at it. I'll show you what it is so that you know, but this is all the
I do not allow access to that at all on production at all. It's never allowed because it will interfere with the Git pulls during deployment.
Yeah, I tell them.
Well, sure it will, but that's assuming that you're still working with that client on a regular basis.
If they take over the site, if somebody takes over the site, they can easily go in and change get the FTP access or whatever, and they can change something in the .env or config.php and fix that. That's not an issue. It's to protect themselves and to protect themselves from themselves and to make the site not have issues during deployment because somehow they created a new field and updated project YAML. I was like, now I can't deploy.
I get what you're saying, but sometimes you got to let the adults be treated like adults. They
can. If they know how to work locally and pull down the site, great. Hey,
you know what,
listeners, who do you agree with? Me, Amanda, or Mike? This is a great question. Please help us out.
There you go. I think that you both raise good points. I think I'm more on the Mike side, just because at the end of the day,
diametrically
Client, where's your
opposed to both of
site?
you.
All I have to say is, look, like I give, when I hand over the site, not hand it over, but when I'm completed it, I say, if you want to make edits, here are your logins that have limited permissions. By the way, since it's your site, here is the super login that does everything. And I say, don't ever use it. It'll break your site, whatever. So if there is an issue where they use it and they break the site, like you're afraid of, Sean, I can say to them, hey, I warned you, and now it's going to cost you like triple for me to fix this problem if you want me to do it. And it's never been an issue. No one ever, like the adults thing, they just listen to me.
I will give them the super admin access, but it's disabled. All the settings are disabled on production for that reason. You can.
But that's not super admin access. If they
yeah, it is, because all you have to do is go in and change the .env variable.
Go in on FTP and do it over there, you mean?
FTP or your hosting control panel. Yeah. And while they may not technically know how to do that, they're going to be hiring a new web developer anyways if I get hit by a bus or they decide to fire me for whatever reason, right?
Yeah, that's
true. And that web developer will know how to do that. Or if they don't, they'll be able to go into Craft Discord or talk to Craft and say, hey, I can't do this. What's going on? And they'll figure it out. But anybody who's familiar with Craft will know how to do it.
Boy, will they be angry at that guy who built the site before. It's like, why is he making us jump through these hoops to fix our own website?
Well, that's actually how I felt at first when Craft started implementing these kind of .env and Project YAML stuff and whatever. But I actually really like it now because it protects the client from themselves, and it ensures that you have the proper workflow of local staging production.
Yeah, and of course, to be clear, like that's exactly how I work and it's never been a case where someone has said, okay, thanks for the site, now go away. How do we manage it ourselves on production live, cowboy coding, whatever? That's never happened. But
well, no, because usually I think that for me anyway, usually the clients that I'm dealing with are, they don't know code. They don't know the setup. Yeah. Like they're happy to have a website and they're happy to follow the instructions. And so when I say don't go in there, they don't go in there, which is awesome.
Has anybody checked YouTube? Do we have anybody leaving comments? Because I'm only here as a guest.
We have 0 concurrent viewers.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Good. So we can talk about our viewers behind their back.
No, don't, because they might watch it later.
Right. Live viewers. The other thing about singles, by the way, just to finish that conversation, is that there's no post date associated with a single. So you couldn't use that format as, okay, I'm going to create this thing, and then the client says we only want it live after the AGM next week or whatever. They couldn't go in and change the date like they can with, say, a blog entry or whatever. Not that it would be a common thing, but that's just something that's a weird little hang up I have about singles, is that they don't have a post date. So you can't modify live dates and stuff. Anyway.
And again, I think that's why I only ever used it for like the homepage. You're never going to like have the homepage come live later, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to turn off the homepage. Yep. Cool. Any other topics people want to bring up?
Well, that was an interesting, lively debate. I'm glad we did that one.
That's great.
Well, I did something kind of cool, which I shared in our Slack. Did this little filtering thing with Sprig. I used to use a masonry JavaScript thing, but I always had trouble styling that stuff with that script to make it work. I think the animations are really cool, but Sprig was simple and I'm already using it on the site. So now I've got the little filtering things. Maybe I'll send we can put the GIF somewhere and show people what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw that in the our little Slack channel there, where it's like categories, and you select a category and everything goes away except the ones that are in that category.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was really simple to do, and I use Sprig on the site already for other things, and I was like, well, why don't I just a hassle to style?
What is Sprig?
Sprig is a plugin for Craft that is basically a wrapper for HTMX. It's lets you do server-side shit on the front end.
Is this one of Ben's?
Yeah, our friend Ben Croker did that. Yeah, at putyourlightson.com.
Right. Yeah, it's really kick-ass. You can do a lot of advanced filtering and stuff that you might need to use Vue or React or some of those other JavaScript frameworks with. you don't need to know JavaScript to do these sort of things. And so it's kind of like a little bit of a middleware between regular JavaScript or regular HTML and JavaScript, but without needing to know the JavaScript.
Sean, how much, when you click one of those categories, how instant is the switch?
Okay, locally, my sites were very slow for some reason. I think there's something screwed up with my local install, but on the front end, it's pretty fast. It's as fast as your server will let you.
And my question is, I wonder how easy it is to, when you click it, in case there is some lag, show a spinner loading thing until it happens. Is that easy to do? Or have
I haven't done that, but I think that there's something in the documentation for the Sprig docs about that. And I should probably look into that.
That'd be cool. I often put spinners on.
It would be nice to have a little loading icon. Yeah.
Yeah. It's helpful. It makes it, ironically, I think it kind of improves the perception of speed, because if it shows up for only a fraction of a second and then it's instantly gone, it's sort of, I feel like it reminds me I was waiting, but I didn't have to wait long, or, you know, something like that.
Yeah. And it does give feedback to users. Like if nothing's happening after you click the button.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? But if I get the loading icon, oh, okay, I'll hold on, patience. I'll sit here for another second and a half before I start freaking out.
Yeah. There's a great JavaScript library I use all the time called Ladda, L-A-D-D-A. And you plug it in, and if you have a button, even if it's like a hyperlink, whatever, that looks like a button, you can have it so that when you click on it, the text goes away and a spinner appears and it replaces the text. And I use that frequently when I have a button that goes somewhere.
I just searched for Ladda, L-A-D-D-A, and I got a whole bunch of IKEA results. I guess I should add JavaScript.
Yeah, I put an IKEA coffee table on my website.
Yeah, nice. Send me the link to the library, and I'll put it in the video description as well.
All right.
So John, start your boilerplate, Mike, Ladda.
Ladda spinners. Look for that. Well, no, not you. I mean Sean, if he's looking for it right now instead of IKEA.
I'll look at it when you send the link to Amanda.
You can do the advanced Google search of doing -ikea.com, and then it will return results that don't belong to that domain.
Yes, I use that all the time.
-IKEA. Should we keep going? It's like, what?
You know what? I think we've been pretty close to a solid half hour. I think unless somebody else has something pressing, I think
this is good. I particularly liked our debate. I thought it was fun.
It went from singles back into like a weird debate about how much control a client should have. That was really cool.
Viewers, anybody watching this, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
That's right. All right. Should we leave it there?
Yeah.
Let's wrap it.
Goodbye, YouTube viewers.
Bye.